This week, I'm going to explore San Francisco's lost neighborhood, Irish Hill. San Francisco is a city of hills and neighborhoods. This is the story of San Francisco's lost hill and lost neighborhood. Today, all that's left of Irish Hill is a forlorn hill behind a sad chain-link fence. This, however, was once part of a thriving community with 1,500 residents, scores of saloons and guest houses, all situated on streets like Delaware, Maryland, Louisiana, Georgia, and Michigan that no longer exist. The entire neighborhood and hill was a race to make way for an industrial expansion that never quite happened. By 1880, San Francisco was booming and was by far the largest city on the West Coast with a population of 250,000 people. By contrast, Los Angeles only had 11,000 residents. The city was almost completely made up of recent immigrants, with the largest ethnic group being the Irish, who accounted for more than 1/3 of the population. Irish Hill, located in the southeastern part of the city, first saw development in the 1860s. Shipbuilding and light industry quickly followed. In fact, most of the dirty and polluting industries were attracted here by its relative remoteness. The slaughterhouse district, Butchertown, for example, was just to the south. From the very beginning, there was always a tension between industry and its workers who lived nearby. Many new immigrants headed straight to Irish Hill, where despite its hardscrabble reputation, a person could always find employment and a place to stay. The neighborhood was made up of a business district on 20th and Illinois, and a residential area on top of the 100-foot hill. The hill came complete with perhaps 60 small houses and 40 boarding houses and saloons. The only way to get there was a steep and rickety 98-step staircase. The vibe was distinctly gangs of New York, with bare-knuckle boxing, steam beer, and wild saloons like the Greenhouse, the White House, the San Quentin, and the Union Hotel. In a place full of colourful characters, Frank McManis was king. In fact, that's what he was known as, the King of the Potrero. Originally from the townland of Morhaun in County Leitrim, Frank and his three brothers made a living with horse trading and saloons. Frank's connection to Irish Hill began when he won the Union Hotel in a card game. Over time, he established himself as a power broker / gang leader. Anyone who wanted a job needed to go through Frank and stay at his hotel and drink in his saloon. Frank surrounded himself with a posse of violent men who would do his bidding. He was also politically connected and closely aligned with the Republican Party. He famously kept a 300-pound brown bear as a pet that he drank beer with. On one occasion, the drunken bear escaped and rampaged through the neighborhood. He was so famous that when Hawaii's last king visited San Francisco in 1891, he was taken to the Union Hotel for a beer. McManis was introduced to the king as the uncrowned monarch of the neighborhood. The beginning of the end happened when another set of Irish brothers, the Welsh brothers, challenged Frank's leadership by buying 2 hotels on the hill and supporting the Democrats in the bloody 1891 primary. The Welsh brothers refused to be intimidated by the McManis family, which resulted in many armed skirmishes. The Blue Mud Wars, as they were known, made a violent place even more violent. Many pitched battles occurred with scores of men on either side. It all culminated in an encounter when Con McManis stabbed Jack Welch, who returned the favour by shooting Con 3 times. Both brothers were seriously injured but survived. This cooled things off for a while, but Con was later shot to death on 3rd Street. Frank, who was very close to Con, never got over his death, and it's said that he drank himself to his grave just 2 years later. Irish Hill was almost at an end too. From almost the beginning, industry chipped away at the hill. Shipbuilding needed flat land, and removing parts of the hill had the added benefit of expanding landfill into the bay. It was also said that industry leaders did not like the nearby saloons, which had become a hotbed of union organization. By 1918, most of the hill was gone, and all the remaining businesses and residences had decamped to nearby neighborhoods like the Dog Patch. The plans for industrial expansion never really materialized, so for many decades the area sat forlorn, with many of the industrial structures slowly decaying. The desolate property had its 15 minutes of fame when key scenes of the 1978 cult movie Invasion of the Body Snatchers was shot here in a warehouse known as Building Number 6. Today, the area is in the middle of a multi-year, multi-billion-dollar redevelopment plan. Ironically, the mixed-use development will again have workers living in proximity to their employers. The plan, apparently, is to keep what remains of the once thriving neighbourhood of Irish Hill. Whatever the future holds, it is certain that within 20 years this whole area will be almost unrecognisable.